Into the shadows.
This shop looks popular today. Wonder what the occasion is. Butterfly Dew Cosmetic. Oh, Siegwiene's here too. Hey there, Siegwiene!
Hello there, Traveler and Paimon. I hope you're keeping yourselves fit and healthy.
You bet we are. So anyway, what are you doing here, Siegwiene?
The Duke insists I take regular vacations in the Court of Fontaine. This one just so happened to coincide with a promotion for a new skincare product, so I came over to take a look. I like to keep up with the latest industry developments when I can.
Wait, you write? For a magazine?
It's called Beautés en Fleur, and it's run by the Fontaine Beauty Association. I've done...
Oh, wow! You're a maritime flower? If Paimon's not mistaken, you're one of the leading figures in the... What's so weird about that? Everyone loves beauty!
I really like this role.
Well, they sure don't want to make an enemy of the maritime flower. Obviously, it's because of Siegwiene's love for beauty. Still a leader of the Beauty Association?
The truth is, I study this field because I cherish my own appearance. It has nothing to do with being beautiful or not.
Oh, the words of a master beautician defy comprehension!
Not really. Actually, Melusine aesthetics are very different from human ones. We don't view... If I had to describe our approach, I'd say it's based on cuteness.
Oh!
Yep. Still, I really felt it turns out my knowledge and experience is pretty popular with beauty product lovers.
Hey, oh, Paimon gets it now. But speaking of your appearance, how come you look human anyway? Are you like only half Melusine? Ooh, wait, sorry. That was probably...
No, I don't mind. I'm not mixed, though. I made a decision to turn myself into this form. If you're interested, I could tell you the story.
A shape-shifting story? Oh, heck yeah, of course we're interested!
Once upon... Long ago, humans rejected Melusines, and Melusines feared humans. There was one Melusine who became fascinated with human medicine, but no human wanted her help. And there was one girl who liked Melusines, so no humans would make friends with her. So, the Melusine became the girl's friend, and the girl became the Melusine's patient. Your checkup's all done. You're still in perfect health.
Thank you, Dr. Melusine.
In this game of doctor and patient, a friendship was born. Then, one day, the girl fell ill. The Melusine was the only doctor to arrive on time, but the adults sent her away.
Scram! Melusines can't be trusted!
So just because I'm not human, I can't save my best friend? In desperation, the Melusine approached the frightening witch. She begged and begged until she got a reply.
If you take this potion, concocted of sin, you will gain a human face and grow human limbs. But then, you will lose everything that attracted this friend of yours to you in the first place. Can you accept that?
The Melusine did not hesitate for very long. On a rainy night, a little doctor knocked on the girl's door. The doctor wore a hood and raincoat, maybe to protect her from the rain, but maybe also to hide a secret. The little doctor held the girl's hand and treated her illness, just as she had so many times before. Dawn came, and the little girl's condition improved. But the little doctor was long gone, for she knew her friend would never recognize her again. And so, since then, I've lived my life in human form. Most people...
Ooh, a witch? A potion?
Trust me,
Must be the way you told it then. It just sounds so... Yeah, not every Melazine would take human form to save their human friend. That must have...
treating patients is a...
Ugh. It's so crazy that they turned you away just because you were a Melazine. Especially when they're...
Well...
Paimon too! You're super cute.
Attention customers! Thank you all for waiting. Now, on behalf of our skincare partner, I'm delighted to announce that our...
Oh, there we go. Let's have a look, shall we?
Really?
Allow me to introduce our newest skin lotion, Butterfly Dew. I'm sure many of you have already read about this product's trials in the newspapers. To say that it improves skin quality is an understatement. This product gets its name from the way it transforms your skin and makes it glow anew, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis and spreading its wings for the first time. We are thrilled to have the inventor of this fantastic product with us here today. Please welcome Mr. Rawat, a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Now, without further ado, I'll hand over to Mr. Rawat to tell you all about what Butterfly Dew can do for you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rawat, and I developed Butterfly Dew.
Wow, what a looker.
He's a researcher? Wow, he's really challenging the stereotype.
It seems that everyone is surprised by my entrance. Or should I say, my appearance. I'm well aware that researchers are generally better known for their brains than their dashing good looks. In that regard, I do believe I break the mold somewhat. Of course, appearance is a skin-deep way of defining a person. And yet one's appearance can be a very real set of shackles, holding a person back in their life. It can rob a young person of their self-confidence when applying for a job, dissuade a young lady from approaching the one she loves. Our actions are at the mercy of our appearance, and we slowly become the very person that the outside world sees us as. But what if I told you that those shackles can be broken? If our appearance prevents us from changing, then let us first change our appearance itself. Wash away moles, birthmarks, and wrinkles, and they can no longer rob us of our confidence. Replace them with luster and radiance, and we shall never again hang our heads in shame. That is why Butterfly Dew exists. Its mission is to allow us to shed our pupae, undergo a complete metamorphosis, and embrace a new life.
Well, whether it actually works or not, after that speech, Paimon's already sold!
Mr.
Of course, I tried it many times. Well,
Wow, then...
still, I don't expect to convince you just by blowing my own...
Oh, Paimon volunteers!
What an honor! It appears we have a giant of the Fontaine
Sure.
Whoa, is that romantic?
Here you go.
Well, it's very kind to the skin, and the absorption rate is high.
Wow, now that's hype!
I'll take one.
Any discounts?
All right. Well, all that remains for me to say is, Butterfly Dew is now on sale!
Think we should buy a bottle too? Ha! Of course you bring up Mora! Fine, Paimon will pay out of her own pocket, and even share it with you. There, and if you're worried about whether it's the right product for you, well, luckily for us, Siegwiene's here!
It's an honor to receive such high praise from you. To be honest, I was also hoping you might be able to point out some flaws in the product so I can keep improving it.
With most most skincare products, the pros and cons only become apparent with long-term use. Yet, this one has instant benefits. Improving skin quality without it. Don't worry though, I plan to keep using it. And I'll publish regular reviews in Beautés en Fleur. You can read my thoughts.
Oh, I was hoping for a more casual conversation, but you are a beauty association.
Siegwiene! Oh, excuse us, Miss Beauty Expert.
Wait, are you the renowned traveler?
That's right, and by his side, the...
Well, I don't normally handle customer questions personally, but since it's the traveler ask, Butterfly Dew is made for all skin types, so no matter who you are, you can rest assured that it will be kind to your skin. If anything, it might be marginally more effective on Fontanian's skin, but other than that, it works the same.
Why would it work better on Fontani?
In the interests of protecting my trade secrets,
Alright then.
save yourself the trouble. I'd be greatly
Yay! Paimon's private fund survives!
I can see why you might think that, but please don't misunderstand. This gift is simply a token of my esteem. There's no business motivation behind it. To me, finding new customers for Butterfly Dew is about meeting kindred spirits, fellow admirers of physical beauty. I consider it a labor of love.
Admirers of physical beauty? Eesh, that's embarrassing to say out loud. It sounds so shallow.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Paimon. Most people claim to desire inner virtue, but it's still physical appearance that turns their heads. This is a fact of life. It's only natural for people to desire to become beautiful. And that's exactly what inspired me to choose this research direction in the first place.
You're right. Everyone loves beauty, don't they?
Look at the time. My apologies, but I have other things to attend to. I'll leave you with these 2 bottles of Butterfly Dew, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Paimon, I'd say there's no need for you and the Traveler to use this product for now.
Why? Is there a problem?
The quality is fine. I just think there's room for improvement.
Really? Then why didn't you tell Rawat about that?
Researchers are a very special breed of human. You can point out their flaws to their face and they won't mind very much. But if you tell them that someone else could do a better job, if I'd mentioned it, he probably wouldn't have given you those 2 bottles for free.
Fair enough, that makes sense.
If you're interested in the more effective version, I can write up a list of ingredients for you. Just
When you say more effective, you mean it'll make Paimon even prettier? Ooh, how can we say no?
as for me, it's probably time I got back to the Fortress of Maripede.
Alright, see you there then! Just up ahead, traveler. The ingredients for Siegwiene should be nearby.
Right here. Emerge. Right here.
Don't get too close!
Shoo.
Great! That's everything! Let's head to the Fortress of Maripede!
Loading. Emerge. Right now. Ready.
Whoa, the infirmary is packed.
Please, you have to believe me. I saw it with my own eyes last night. Another me. He looked exactly like me.
Got it? Okay. I've written down everything you told me. Now, I have a few tests to run. Take a deep breath, and don't worry. It's nothing to be nervous about. First, which finger am I holding up?
Your index finger, but I'm telling you, my mental...
Very good. Now, on to the next.
Hey there, Your Grace. It's been a while, huh?
Ah, it's you two. Indeed it has. I would offer you some tea, but I'm afraid the timing is unfortunate. Duty calls.
No worries. Actually, we were looking for Siegwiene. Do you, know what all of this is?
This inmate came running to the guards in a panic, claiming to have seen his exact doppelganger.
A doppelganger? Doesn't that just mean someone else kinda looks like him?
And that's what I thought when the report first reached my desk. But we've inspected our records. No one even vaguely resembles him. Considering how certain he is of what he saw, I can only surmise that he's having some mental issues. So I brought him for a medical evaluation.
All right, very good. Take a sip of water and rest for a bit. Evaluation complete. I couldn't find any symptoms pointing to a physical condition.
I see. So do you still believe there's more likely to be an issue with his mind than his body?
I have to assume so for now. Psychological issues are more difficult to detect. At this stage, we
The
can...
rumor mill will go crazy if word of this gets out. Guards, take him to the ward for a period of observation. The Marechaussee Phantom has requested my cooperation on a case, otherwise I'd deal with this myself. Sorry for the trouble, head nurse, but I'll have to leave this to you.
No problem, Your Grace. I'll add him to my observation.
By the way, we have a couple of guests here who have made the trip just to see you. I imagine it must be important.
Oh, Traveler!
Hey there, Siegwiene! It's actually not that important.
I'll be in my office if you desperately need me.
Okay, bye-bye! So, Siegwiene...
Would you mind waiting for just a moment? I have another patient to see.
Oh, sure!
Siegwiene, we've brought him. And he seems to have taken a turn for the worse again.
Okay, don't panic. Let's start by sitting him down here.
Paimon had no idea how busy it can get for Siegwiene. Maybe now's not the time to ask for her help with skincare. Good point. Besides, it might actually be interesting to observe her at work.
This could hurt, so I suggest you take a deep breath first.
Did his face melt? What happened to him?
It's anyone's guess. His face melted off shortly after arriving at the fortress. But since he's a serious offender, he can't be allowed out for medical treatment. Best we can do for now is ask the head nurse to give him something to manage. Oh, this is gonna be awkward. We still need to bring him to the Marechaussee Phantom for questioning. What if he scares them half to death? Will that be our fault?
The Marechaussee Phantom? Does this have something to do with the case Risley's dealing with?
Yup, it was a huge case. They bagged a few dozen crooks in one fell swoop. And this guy's the baddest apple of the bunch. He harmed countless people. And now, it looks like it's all finally catching up with him.
You done gawking?
Not yet. I need to check the severity of your ulcers to decide the right dosage. Don't worry. We Melazines have a very different sense of aesthetics from humans. To me, he just looked like a little kitty with slightly...
Don't patronize me. Do I look like a kid to you? Just give me the meds and let me out of here. I already missed my cell.
Hey, lose the attitude. You dare talk back to our head nurse like that again, your days are numbered.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to apply the medication now. Tell me if it hurts, alright?
Look how nice Siegwiene's being. And he still talks to her like that? What a nasty piece of work.
Can I leave now?
Wow, not a peep. What a brave...
Thank you, Siegwiene. and I apologize for the trouble.
So, Traveler, Paimon, did you bring the ingredients?
We did, but we don't want to interfere or anything. You're busy.
Oh, don't be silly. I agreed to it, didn't I? Just hand me the ingredients, and I'll make some time. Take a rest here if you want. Or, if you're not tired, I hear they're holding a new pancreation tournament in the administration area.
Or alternatively, is there anything we could help you with, Siegwiene? That's right! Let us help you out! It's the least we could do!
Good point. Kind-hearted humans start to develop guilt if they accept free help from others. Don't worry. I'll take a look at my schedule. I'm sure I can find something to treat this condition. I gotta warn you, though, it'll be tiring work. So I suggest you take a break first, then come back and see me when you're ready.
We're ready, Siegwiene! What's our first mission?
I found the perfect job for the Traveler. First, I'd like you to lie down in this bed.
What for?
I need you to pretend to be sick.
What?
Oh, is it that difficult? I thought you'd...
Oh, so you...
I sure did. He was way more interesting than the usual malingering inmates. And you played along very well, Paimon.
Well, this is awkward. But why do you need us to do it again now?
No time to explain. My next patient will be here any second. Please, just do as I say. You can, pretend like you've got a nasty headache. And throw in some dry heaving for good measure.
Okay.
Hey, Doc, it's me. I'm only here because my mom won't stop pestering me about it.
Well, your mother has enough on her plate with a busy job. Well, the last thing she needs is to worry about you being sick as well.
I know! I shouldn't treat the place like a playground. Shouldn't go swimming in the lower levels where we join up with the sea, because it'll give me a cold and distract her from her work. I thought I'd be able to have some fun here at the fortress for a few days, but it's always, don't do this and don't do that.
All right. Sit yourself down and I'll take your temperature. Your fever still hasn't gone down. Well, here's your medicine. 1 cup for starters, and we'll see if it helps.
But Doc, it's so bitter. Do I really have to drink it? I mean, I'll be fine, right? I've got an uncle who caught a cold. His fever went away on its own after a couple days. Can't you just write me a note saying I'm on the mend? I just need something to keep my mom off my case.
I sure can. You're a very brave boy after all.
Huh? Brave?
Well, if you want to rely on your own immune system to clear up your fever, then you'll have to tough it out like this guy.
Hang in there, Traveler! Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag!
As long as you're tough enough to get through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll be right as rain after just a few days' rest.
And if I'm not tough enough?
Hey! Wake up!
Put it this way. At least you'll never have to see the doctor again, right?
I think maybe I'll take that medicine after all, if that's okay.
Oh, of course. Here, it's...
It's so bitter.
all done. Great job, you two.
That kid really doesn't know what's good for him.
His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately, but unfortunately, he was quite happy at first.
So you made us put on... Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a
She was human.
Oh,
No, it's fine. I really liked my teacher, so it's always she was a traveling doctor. And since she didn't have a clinic, she'd go out and visit her patients wherever they were. Dealing with the badly behaved ones was her specialty. She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you won't have to hear them wailing and screeching when their condition gets worse.
She sounds like a pretty strict teacher.
Strict? Well, that's not how my teacher saw it. She thought of herself as terrifying to kids.
Strange way for a doctor to describe themselves. Now Paimon's curious to know what she looked like.
As it happens, I actually have a picture of her.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that'll terrify the kids.
Yep. All the children she treated thought she was a witch.
Why does it almost sound like you're envious of her?
Oh, because I am. If she was here, all the children would take their medicine with
A doctor who looks like a witch. True, they wouldn't dare try anything funny with her around.
Oh, me, on the other hand, it's hopeless. Children aren't afraid of me at all.
That's actually a good thing, you know?
Oh, my next patient should be arriving now. Would you mind lending me a hand again?
Sure thing! On to the next... Is it nighttime already? That flew by. You really have a busy job, Siegwiene.
Well, thanks to you two, it was much easier today.
Aww. Should we get some rest? It's getting pretty late.
There is one last thing. I have to keep it confidential, so I usually leave it till after everyone's clocked out.
Confidential? Are you sure you can tell us?
It's fine. You're not living here anymore, so it's okay if you know. All it is I have to prepare some ingredients to make healthy meals with.
Wait, you mean those healthy meals?
My patients refuse to eat any healthy meals I prepare in front of them, so I have to prep the ingredients in secret, then let the chef at the Coupon cafeteria handle the rest.
Considering even the chef's version makes people uneasy, it really makes you wonder what's in it.
You want to find out? I can teach you how to make it. That way, if you ever suffer from exhaustion on your future travels, you can prepare a healthy meal for yourself. It's really good for you, you know.
Sure? Guess we can help out one more time.
The ingredients are ready. Now, put them on the table and add them in the order I tell you. First, we add this special slime condensate. Stir it thoroughly, then pour it in.
Yeah, it really does! Until you remember it's...
Next up, xenochromatic crystals. You want to crush them up into a fine powder, like powdered sugar.
Wait, are those from Fontimer Aberrants? Are you sure they're edible?
Finally, we'll need some high-protein meat. Frogs are an excellent choice. You just need to clean their innards, and then you're left with some lovely tender meat.
Oh! Frogs.
And we're done. All that's left now is to pack them into lunch boxes and hand them to Walsey. Yesterday in the production zone, I noticed an inmate who's been working for 2 days straight. That means
Siegwiene really does have the inmate's best interests at heart.
Loaded.
Ah, head nurse.
just the one today.
Sounds good. I'll make sure.
Sounds like they're talking in code.
Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's snow.
That won't do.
All right. Nurse's orders.
Well, I'm done with work for today. I think
Seems like the guard...
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry to disturb you this late at night, but I think you'll agree. This...
Okay,
just relax and catch...
The guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you. One of the inmates there, the guy suffering from possible hallucinations, well, he seems to have made a sudden recovery, and now he wants to apply for permission to leave...
Huh? Oh, you were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make... Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left. We'll come with...
Into the shadows. Emerge. Right now.
Ah, head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but I believe I've now made a full recovery. After giving it some thought, I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things. Stress-related, I imagine. I'd been working long hours, so I definitely wasn't in the best state of mind.
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you, okay? So, take a deep breath and don't be nervous. It'll be the exact same procedure as we did this morning. We can start whenever you're ready.
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Oh, not at all. It's a lot to remember. First up, we have a little cognitive test. Just concentrate and you'll be fine. To start with, which finger am I holding up?
Your pinky.
All right, all indicators seem normal. So it was a stress-induced hallucination after all? Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting. Thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep.
It can be difficult to relax in an unfamiliar environment. All right then, you can leave the ward. I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery. I'll take you up...
Great. I can't thank you enough, head nurse.
Mr. Odilon, could you escort him...
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh? Yep. But I still haven't gotten around to making that improved lotion for you yet. Oh, no rush! Seriously, it's super late now. Well, tomorrow it is then. Good. Oh, don't you worry! We will! After a productive day of work, we're both gonna sleep like a log. Yeah, sleep tight, Siegwiene. See you tomorrow! Paimon really did sleep like a log. Let's go find Siegwiene.
Right here. Emerge.
yesterday!
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. I have a
No problem. Anything we can do to help?
There's a bit of a complicated situation here.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
You're in a medical facility. Keep it down.
Please, listen to me. I'm not Gascon. I'm Uy.
You're a horrible liar, you know that? We get all your mugshots with the arrest warrants. It's clear as day that you're Gascon.
You mean because of the way I look? I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this. Then you guys dragged me in here for an interrogation.
I brought you here to figure out what's going on. If you truly are the victim of an injustice, yelling isn't going to...
All right.
This is nuts. Yesterday's interrogations went fine.
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday? The one brought to me by the Marechaussee Phantom? Well, we've been questioning the inmates involved this morning. Every single...
That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been able to provide any evidence whatsoever to support their claims. Questioning them further got...
And we thought yesterday was as busy as it got for Siegwiene.
We've compiled their statements. Have a look.
Wait.
Release? Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be due for release today.
I noticed that too. If that's their plan, they're underestimating.
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check...
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released, so they can walk out...
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your investigation. Did that help?
Yes, the inmates. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices sound a little different today. But
Oh, really? What does our head nurse make of all of this?
Give me a moment. I think I have a way to confirm whether there's been a switch. I know, it's not time to change your dressing yet, but please bear with me.
Huh? Isn't that the guy from...
This should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Court of Fontaine. I authorized him to leave the fortress for medical...
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Putton. I'm Honore.
so there has been a swap. Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case, but how do you explain the other inmates? You're not telling...
No, I believe it was their faces that got switched. The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false one in. Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric from the other day?
Yeah, sure do.
Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the inmate who claims to be Eric. So, you're...
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do believe me, right?
I need to do another examination on you. Same procedure as yesterday.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right?
Now, try to recall if you can. The last time we did this test, which finger did I hold up?
I believe it was your index finger.
But that means...
Huh?
So, basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered and applied to leave the observation ward. Siegwiene did another test before letting him leave, but that time, she held up her pinky finger.
Huh? I don't know about any test last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed. Then I somehow...
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation for the
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders wanted to break out of prison, so they identified a group of scapegoats, namely inmates whose terms were almost up, and planned to switch appearances with. Last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their group switch appearances with him using their face-swapping method. That allowed them to avoid scrutiny from the other guards. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon spent his night shift carrying out the remainder of their switcheroo plan. However, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted by the real Eric. Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now. So we put it down to hallucination and sent him to the observation ward. However, since one of the gang members was posing as a guard, they simply changed real Eric's appearance and had their Eric take his place, muddying the waters even further.
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then, and no inmates on that list can be processed for departure until I've discharged them.
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little stunt to get fake Eric off the list.
Yeah, it all makes sense now. The Duke cracked the case.
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out the possibility of face switching very early on in this process.
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the Malazines and the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify criminals. We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
Huh. Well then...
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release, and are using that to commit identity.
Actually, there is a potion that can completely change someone's appearance. If they use that...
A shape-shifting potion?
Forgive me, head nurse, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. If such a potion truly existed, it would...
Yes, I am.
But...
Please, trust me in my professional opinion as an experienced...
At the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places, then have a little talk with both sides, we might just get our answer. Yep, let's do that.
Okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations. And I know it's put you out. We'll do it your way.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked, but we were too late. A bunch of people already got processed 2 hours ago. I checked the list, and sure enough, it's all the people who gave statements.
2 hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began. They had this all planned out.
So there really was a switch after all. They really pulled the wool over our eyes on this one.
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now, right?
Not if that potion is real. They can just switch faces again after leaving the fortress. And if the Marechaussee's Melazines can't even spot them, we wouldn't know where to start searching.
Yikes! So we're at a complete dead end!
Well, technically there is one more lead we could follow up on. We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. I believe his name is Rawat.
Oh? Rawat? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at that skincare promotion?
Handsome? Maybe from a human point of view. I just remember that he specialized in potions. One of the crimes this gang is charged with is the manufacture and sale of illicit drugs. According to Mr. Rawat, they appear to have stolen technology he developed through his research and used it in their operation. At first, he thought it was a typical case of intellectual property infringement, and he tried to negotiate with them. But once he discovered their criminal operation, he reported them to the authorities. Thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them all in one go.
What a hero! Bet that took courage on his part.
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that Rawat will be targeted by the escapees. That aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll have some additional information for us.
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime, please keep an eye on the face switch victims for us.
Of course.
Miss Morgan, I'd like to come along and help you catch these criminals.
Huh? Why's that?
Well, I'm the one who discharged the fake Eric last night, so I feel partly responsible.
Don't say that, head nurse. Your focus was on the inmate's health, and rightly so. We can't ask you to help with arresting criminals. That's our duty.
I also have a more personal reason. Cotton is a patient of mine, and if I don't get a new batch of medicine to him in time, his condition will get much worse.
Look, head nurse, I completely understand where you're coming from. But arresting criminals is dangerous business. And if anything happened to you, none of us can afford to take on that responsibility.
Don't worry, I can defend myself just fine.
You say that, but still.
If I may, Miss Morgan, Siegwiene is the one who raised the potion hypothesis, and I'm sure she has far more expertise on the topic than your team. My suggestion would be to bring her with you. And if you really are worried for her safety, then... Ah, there you go, right on cue. Knew I could count on you.
Okay. Well, since this plan has the Duke's blessing, far be it from me to refuse. We should head off immediately. Time is of the essence.
I've faced many opponents in my duels. Most of them I defeated. The rest surrendered. No, I have never lost a duel.
Greetings. Sorry to impose, but I'm afraid we're here on urgent business.
The Marsha's a phantom. Let me guess, you're investigating some more illegal research?
Not this time, no. We're looking for a researcher. Do you know where we might find Mr. Rawat?
Rawat. Oh yeah, Mr. Handsome, right? He actually doesn't work on site here very often. There's a handful of researchers in the nearby area who know him pretty well, though. You can see what they know.
Just a handful? Paimon figured he'd be the most popular guy around.
Well, I guess you could say he's popular, at least on a superficial level. He's blessed with good looks, so he tends to make a good first impression on people. But in all his time here at the Fontaine Research Institute, I don't think he's ever had a single deep conversation about his research with his peers. That's no way to make real friends around here.
That's so weird. He definitely didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion.
Oh, I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's, good at making friends.
Really? Paimon couldn't tell. Must be a Melusine perception thing.
Okay, we should talk with his acquaintances. But we also need to check the Research Institute for any clues. Let's split up. It'll save us some time.
Sure thing. We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Siegwiene. Paimon's suddenly kind of curious to know what everyone really thinks of him. Excuse us, are you Audrey?
That's me. What is it?
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out where he is.
Close friends? You mean because I told him I had feelings for him once? I doubt I'm the first or last at the Institute to make that mistake. Why would you single me out as a close friend? I should have known, really. Men like him, they just enjoy being surrounded by fawning women. They're not interested in a serious relationship.
Okay. We were just kind of wondering if you might know where we can find him.
Why would I know where he's at? I barely know him, and he probably doesn't even remember me.
Ugh, this is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else?
I think she knows Rawat better than she cares to admit. If we leave...
Maybe, but we're not going to get much out of her while she's in this state,
She's displaying symptoms common among people in love, if that's what you mean. But I know
it's curable?
Oh, we're still no closer to finding Mr. Rawat. Oh, by this point, he could be in grave danger.
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right, yeah! The Marshose Phantom said that he's been targeted by some pretty bad people.
What? How has this happened? He seemed fine when I last saw him, and that was only a couple of days ago. Just happened to run into him.
Oh, I see. Well...
Okay, but this is purely out of concern for his safety. If he's not at the Institute, he might be at his... I heard she raised him alone, that they had it pretty tough financially, and these days she's housebound due to illness.
Oh, okay.
Nope, sorry. I only found out the thing about his mother because it came up in conversation once. I was just trying to find out more about him, so I could get to know him better. When I told him I had a crush on him, I offered to help him take care of his mother. And yeah, maybe that was a stupid idea, but did he really have to yell at me for it? It's like... Fine, I can take no for an answer, but what's with the temper? Unbelievable. These guys only want to show you their
looks like her love syndrome is
We need to find out Mr. Rawat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marshose officers when we recruit.
Cool, sounds like a plan. Hey there,
What do you want?
We're here to ask Any idea where he...
Close? Not sure that's the word I'd use. He wouldn't even let me use his patent.
Huh?
It's been a good few days since I last saw him. I don't know where he's at. Go ask some...
Would the patent in question happen to be related to the new skincare?
Yeah, kinda. Butterfly do, or whatever you call it.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Most of the other researchers here focus on mechanics, energy, stuff like that. I get why he wouldn't be interested in having anything to do with them. But I'm studying coatings. There's a huge overlap in our areas of research. Why would he refuse to work with me? I bought his product once and noticed it contains a unique substance that might have applications in coatings too. If it worked out, I could probably make as much as he... Don't get me wrong. I had no intention of plagiarizing his work. I was hoping to get official permission to use his findings in my own, but despite that, he turned me down not once, not twice, but 3 times. It's like he's vehemently opposed to the idea of anyone else making the kind...
Huh, so is Rawat antisocial, or is this guy just jealous? Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any info about Rawat's whereabouts.
Wait, 1 second. Mr. Antib, next time you go shopping, you should buy some Buell fruits. Peel the skin, steep in water, then drink. It'll help...
Huh?
Sorry to bother you, sir, but are you Birch?
Who's asking?
Just some concerned citizens helping out the Marechaussee Phantom with an investigation. We'd like to ask you about Rawat's whereabouts, if that's
Not anymore, we're not. Turns out we don't see eye to eye.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
The thing about us researchers is, most of us do what we do for some sort of higher purpose. But not Rawat. All he cared about was how to commercialize it. He won't even let you work with him unless you sign a confidentiality agreement first. Also, he has better control over who gets which intellectual property rights. How are you supposed to get any meaningful research done working with a guy? Now that I've got my own technical solution for my compressor, I don't need to work with him anymore.
So that's what Rawat is real.
We'd still like to know where to find him.
Wait, you're... Yeah, I know you. You're the head nurse at the Fortress of Meripede. Alright, then I'm happy to help you if I can. I respect the work you do. Medicine serves the...
Wow, turns out Siegwiene's got some real clout.
Thing is, I have no real way of knowing where he might be. I stopped working with him 2 months ago, and I've barely seen him since. But if you want my advice, I'd say go talk to the peddlers. There's a few he meets with every other day or so. Maybe they know where he's at.
Peddlers?
Yeah, back when I was working with him, I noticed he met with them quite often. Wouldn't surprise me if they were involved in some shady business together, because it seemed like they went out of their way to avoid this. The little I overheard was about manufacturing and selling pharmaceutical drugs. Like I said, he's all about the money.
Drugs? Doesn't he work with skincare products? Do them?
Who knows? I never cared to
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, that's all 3 researchers. You know, Hyman started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality. It's such a surprise to...
So, what's your view of him?
A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into a prophet.
So your thoughts about his appearance have...
Well, his looks are kind of a big deal. At least in Paimon's opinion. How does such a handsome guy end up being so antisocial? Even with his difficult family background.
You can't judge a person solely based...
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken...
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchants. Do you know if he's registered?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him.
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and averse to sharing his technology with others, maybe he and his business partners needed...
You think he may have colluded with the gang?
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the one who blew the whistle.
Most children who come to me with tooth decay have suffered pain for a long time already, but they'll still try to hide the fact that they eat too many sweets. Grown-ups and children aren't so different.
I saw him when he came to make his report. And I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's more likely that they were coercing him. You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible by the time he discovered who they really were.
That does make a lot of sense. No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his...
In that case, the situation could be if Verwat was working with the escaped inmates. They're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us. Oh, there's...
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen 2 days ago.
2 days ago? So he went missing right after...
That was the same day he reported the criminals, too.
Don't worry, everyone.
Yeah, he must have been worried that they'd...
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you mentioned.
Yep. When you register a brand, the Court of Fontaine
Okay.
Loaded. Right here. Emerge. Ready.
All right. This should be...
Oh.
Sounds like whoever's inside has restricted mobility. Oh, it seems serious. Oh, what's the
break the door down?
No, I'll handle it. Calm down. Deep breaths. Remember your training. Control your strength. And... it's open!
Seath, take a few people and lie in wait. Keep your eyes peeled for any activity around the house. The Traveler...
Oh, there. On the bed, there's an old lady.
We could try, but she is very ill.
Well, doesn't look like Rawat's here.
Yep. Hello, ma'am. Might I ask if you... Hard of hearing, perhaps. Does anyone have...
I have one here.
I'd like to show you a photo, ma'am. Is the...
Looks like this isn't gonna work out.
Well, looks like we're out of...
Is it possible he could have avoided returning here because he knew he'd...
Maybe. But if so...
Yes, so?
I suggest we all return there now.
Sorry, officer, but could I stay here for...
Of course. Traveler, stay with the head nurse.
Also, I'd like some Marsha...
What?
If or what knows...
Got it.
Thanks for helping me out yet again, Traveler.
No problem.
Yes.
Oh.
Let me take care of a few things first.
Yeah, of course.
I can tell that her family has tried a lot of different treatment methods, including some very expensive medicines. Unfortunately, her condition is so multifaceted that a recovery looks all but impossible.
Siegwiene, my mom bets being a nurse must be pretty tough at times like this.
Yes, it makes me a little sad. In Melizine's eyes, a human's birth, aging, sickness, and death are... But human medicine can defy that law to some extent. But it was only after I truly became a doctor that I realized miracles don't always happen. Even the greatest doctors cannot cure all diseases.
Siegwiene...
Well, don't worry about me, Paimon. A doctor's duty is not to cure all diseases. At the very least, I can lower her fever.
Yeah, All the... Oh, her fever is getting worse. Could I get some hot water? Sure, we're on the case. Found the hot water? Sure did. And look what else we've... Judging by this journal, it seems like we're what? Oh, that's great news. The wet towel is ready. I'm giving you another injection. Are you feeling better now? Oh, it's all right. Thank you. It's Officer Morgan.
We came as soon as we heard the news. I can't believe we were so careless. The most crucial information of all was
Don't blame yourself. There's a mechanical...
It's open. Let's go in.
How did they get in here? Captain, up ahead! Those look like our fugitives!
So they found this place too? Don't let any of them escape! Too easy!
One taste of my hammer, another test. Careful. Captain, according to our list, many of the fugitives aren't accounted for. There may be others hiding deep.
So these guys were just
the Marachose Phantom. How did they find this place?
Wait, it's that guard from the fortress.
That's right, I'm on your side. I mean, the Duke sent me. What's the matter?
Mr. Odilon, didn't I tell you a few days ago that you need to stop all field work?
Well, you know...
Officer Morgan, this man is an imposter. The real Mr. Odilon has no reason...
What?
Looks like the head nurse was right about the face-swapping method. Arrest them all! DuPont, stay here and keep guard. And watch the exit. If we're not back...
Got it.
Don't slip and fall! So many jars. Was this some sort of production facility?
This scent. It's probably the ingredients used to...
How come they're all empty? Did it sell so well that he ran out of supplies?
How strange. Why would Rawat choose to manufacture a popular product like that in such a difficult-to-reach location, given our suspicion?
Perhaps Butterfly Dew is its...
Do you have any evidence for that claim?
No, just a guess. We need to find Rawatis.
Understood.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get this door open. Let's find another way around. This one's closed too. What's with those carts and tracks? Oh, maybe it's one of those doors that opens when it senses cargo passing through. There's a loaded cart right over there. Let's bring it to the door and give it a try.
Don't slip and fall. Calm down.
Roll.
Positions.
Do your worst! We shall prevail!
This room's much smaller than the others.
Judging by the implements on the table, this looks like a potion making...
Head nurse! Over here!
Let's see. Huh? Robot?
Perhaps they stripped him down, left the clothes behind, and disposed of him somewhere else?
Yikes, Siegwiene, where did that come?
Oh, what a tragic way to go. Especially with...
There's a path leading further on, Officer Morgan. There's a whole bunch of people.
Are you serious? You're telling us that within a day, our faces are going to rot like yours?
Fontanian physiology changed dramatically after that great flood, and it's not as compatible with this face-changing solution as before. The side effects are as you can see.
Why didn't you say anything before we all used it?
Look, my plan got you all out of prison, didn't it? You'd have much bigger problems to worry about right now if the Marshal Say Phantom found out about your other crimes. Consider an ugly...
You're just lucky we didn't leave you in there, after you disappeared on us with no warning. We only let it slide because we're former partners. And now you have the gall to pull a stunt like this?
Partners? Make no mistake, each of us is only looking out for himself. If you place too much trust in others, well, I'm afraid that's your problem. You hid things from me too. Remember how you each had a spare potion? You kept quiet about it until we planned the prison break?
Oh, and you didn't have a secret spare? Then do you want to explain how you melted your face off before all this?
Guys, that's enough. Calm down. It is what it is. Arguing won't change anything. What's the plan, Parton? I'm assuming you brought us here for a reason?
There is no plan. We followed him here on the promise of more juice. But it turns out there ain't. Besides, what does it matter now anyway? He already said, even if we did get our hands on more of that stuff, switching faces again solves nothing. There's still—
I said enough arguing!
The most practical solution is to continue using the potion. Keep switching to a new face before the ulcers can start forming.
Are you kidding me? This stuff was hard enough to get a hold of even when we had a supply. Now you're asking us to use it like skin lotion, after the flood all but wiped the supply out?
Well, there is another option. But you'll have to make a deal with me first.
Okay, now we're talking. What?
I have a document I took from that researcher that details how to make a replacement. Just give me one bottle of the undiluted fluid, and I'll get to work. What's the problem? I thought you always kept reserves. Or do you really just...
What do you think? That we were shipping them into the fortress of Meripede by the basket load?
Well then, say hello to never showing your marred faces in public again.
Ugh, I've heard enough! Get him! Let's see if that document...
Freeze! Marshal Say Phantom!
What? Who let them in?
Officer Morgan, before anything else, please find out Rawat's status.
Rawat?
I don't see him.
Spare us your condescending attempts to...
Parton?
Arrest them all! Don't...
Sharing my knowledge. Ready, go! Stay put!
Hear my prayer!
Everyone hold hands! It seems so... The Temple of Wisdom! With all my strength!
Dance with the wings! We shall prevail! Flee! Huh. Gotta say, I never
Some patients respond better to a more aggressive.
Captain, we finished the head count. Pot Smith.
Over there! The door's.
One group trying to arrest me, another trying to hunt me down. Good.
How did he get up there?
Don't waste your energy. I already sealed it.
How naive.
Well then, you'd better hope they...
There's some kind of gas leaking from the pipes.
This is our distribution center, where we store the product derived from our source solution. We had to use special... The pipe network here was designed to emit a gas for firefighting. One little modification later?
Why would you do this?
Oh, please. If they can't...
He's a maniac! Come on, we gotta find a way to...
Go ahead. Struggle in vain. Once...
Are you sure you're...
You can't cure my face. Just get...
And what if I could?
Nice try. You're just trying to stall me. Don't you worry about me. I'll find a way to cure my face once I get out of here.
Oh, I doubt it. After all, Fontanians can no longer dissolve in primordial...
What?
The key component of the face-changing potion is the fluid left behind by dissolved Fontanians. It might look like ordinary water, but it has some unique elements in it. Before the flood, all Fontanians were oceanids, physiologically speaking. A potion made from that fluid could dissolve and reconstruct the face of a Fontanian, in much the same way as hydroidolins change form. Theoretically, it could give someone any appearance they wished. But since the flood, Fontanians have become true humans. They can no longer provide the source material for this potion, nor reap its benefits.
Are you saying this potion is made from Fontanians dissolved with primordial seawater?
How could you know all of this? No, wait.
It also means that I have a formula you're unaware of.
I might get to make a deal today after all. Alright, keep
Oh, it's not a formula, but a finished product.
What?
When I tried Rawat's skincare product, I noticed it had a certain special component in it. I'm guessing his skincare lotion contains the fruits of your joint
Huh. Impressive guesswork. Yeah. But it only contains a tiny amount of the active ingredient.
Well, I found a way to reverse the dilution process, giving the skincare lotion...
That's impossible.
If I tell you some of the ingredients,
Tainted hydrophantasms and transoceanic pearls.
So?
Sounds good to me. There's a delivery pipeline beneath.
Nope, not trusting you that easily. You're like those naughty kids who try to hide their illness. Open the sluice gate first, then I'll hand you the...
Even if you're I'm not closing the valve this time.
Fine, then I'll just stand here with the potion in my hand. And when I faint from the...
No.
It's open!
Disable that sluice gate! Jam it!
That's more like it.
Head nurse, there's too much poison gas in here. We have to leave.
That was... Oh, don't be too quick to sit down. Moving around a little will... Same goes for you. Flying fast? Shame I ended up giving... No, please don't. Yeah.
Head nurse, it's a shame that we didn't find Rawat.
What a horrible bunch. No, we wouldn't. I always keep a whole bunch of antidotes on me for emergent... What? Then why did...
If this is true, I must concur. If he changes his appearance...
No, you don't understand. I gave him the potion precisely...
What do you mean?
We gotta hurry. She won't last...
move a muscle. I'm my captain. You're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying...
Oh.
Are you... Potton?
What?
This is how Potton looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot on his arrest warrant.
Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would he change back to a—
Enough of this nonsense.
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in there who's very sick.
To heck with it. Listen to me. I'm
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it against his will.
Forced against his will? Back when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. And then when I actually became a criminal in my own right... Amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Save us the speech.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is. When I was just Potton, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want? Get away from me.
Women despise me.
Collaborate? You know,
my peers scorned me.
Mr. Potton, was it? I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment opportunities.
Only villains would work with me.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some Marechaussee Phantom officers. So I suggest you put any—
There was no way out for me. Until I could stop being Potton.
Mr. Rawat,
I became popular with women.
This new potion you developed is fascinating. Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me?
My peers looked up.
I'm very interested in your research, sir.
And the villains even began to fear me. Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world we live, but I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be made to work in my favor, or so I thought. But alas, the world seemed... Mother, I'm back. How are you doing?
Oh, are you?
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but when everyone else rejected me, the only person who cared about me was my mother.
I have to let her see me again. Even if it means donning my own... Well, is that enough explaining for you?
Have you ever you found a...
So you kept...
Villain. You have no...
You... Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face either.
Don't humor me.
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives. I had to confirm my...
Are you kidding me?
Well, there were no... But...
Fundamental qualities, huh? Most people probably... You use it yourself, didn't you? That's why...
Siegwiene? Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melazines were discriminated against because of... It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race cast out by humanity, or become the head nurse of the fortress of Meripede. So you see, you and I...
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother.
Huh?
A head nurse. I'm not...
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for our... He was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother.
All right. I under...
Mom? It's me, Potton. Your son. Mom!
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were...
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability...
No, it can't be. I've done so much to get to this point. No!
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all. It's you? Oh, of course.
Mom!
No more questions, Potton.
Mom!
I'm sorry to say this, Potton.
The wait is over, everyone! The sale of our new skincare...
Another skincare promotion! And it's... Oh, Siegwiene's here too! Hey, Siegwiene! Oh, Traveler Paimon, hello! Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Anyway, are you here to take notes for your next article? Actually, I'm mostly here to help Officer Morgan wrap up yesterday. Ah, that reminds Paimon. That stuff sold like crazy. Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Unless modified, Butterfly Dew is an excellent... Besides, officers have already retrieved all Butterfly Dew purchased on the market. Now it's just after consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects. So it'll evaporate naturally without... Wow, it's Siegwiene...
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse. All the Butterfly Dew we recovered has been...
Great! Good job, everyone!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of Rawat's interrogation records. Well, technically, after he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no... Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, he came up with the idea to dilute it. Their supplier was Vache. But you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. His operation helped Vache. It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash was another man's treasure, and there were no loose ends.
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the harm?
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices will come to an end. It's only a matter of time. Since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods, like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. Naturally, after receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on...
That sounds more like it!
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner. Even though he made a point, he tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices, giving him enough time to transform back into Potton and see his mother one last time. But there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though Potton had been missing for a long time, we were very much still on the lookout for him. So the moment he...
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to... Looking at the interrogation records, it seems like he spent the first sum of money he earned as reward...
Yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed, but a desire to become... Even so, he went too far.
I understand. Thank you for bringing me these records. Why did you want them anyway? Potton was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher... Why are you still treating him like your patient? That may be true, but a patient is a patient, regardless...
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know. It would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officer...
Of course!
Thank you.
So, Siegwiene, did you really use that potion? Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon? I told you all... You mean that story about the witch and the Yes, it really... But... I know. There are some secrets I can't tell anyone about. But considering everything we... Before I tell you, though, could you follow me somewhere? Of course! Nervalette and Risley, they're here too!
Good to see you, Traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been going well for you?
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on
Is that genuinely something people would consider...
Why wouldn't they? Important business is a big deal.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support, being there for... After reading the Maréchal Phantom's reports, I had a feeling...
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Nervalette shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose, actually. To accompany Siege...
So the old friend she mentioned was her teacher then? The witch? Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Siegwiene calls her that all the time.
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive, Paimon.
Indeed. In fact, I believe Siegwiene would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor on many occasions, and it's... In those days, many people harbored prejudices against Melusines. She was the only teacher willing...
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be here for Siegwiene. Guess you guys really look out for your younger colleagues, huh?
Younger colleague? Well, that might be true for the Udex, but I'm not sure I can say the same. Siegwiene served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago, and after she did her time, she decided to stick around. She's been an integral part of our administration ever since. Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included. Pretty sure that makes me the younger colleague.
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them to lead more straightforward, happier lives.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Siegwiene had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless in clear violation of the law.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Certainly. Siegwiene does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact, I first learned of it myself because she confessed the truth to me of her own volition.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there.
Master, what?
I discovered a strange disease. One I suspect that I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure. But I hit a wall. And...
Then, I'll find a cure for you.
There's no need.
But, Master...
As I said before, a doctor...
I know. I'll do whatever...
Even if it means breaking the law and...
As long as I don't hurt anyone.
Then I shall make one more final gamble. If I am able to work this miracle, then if not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I will leave you a parting gift.
When Siegwiene returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events, I gave my verdict.
So that's what happened.
I fear Siegwiene only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontainians was uncovered. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. As I use the law to uphold justice, there are times when I cannot help but acknowledge its ruthlessness. After the final details of the events surrounding Siegwiene's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully, the legal code does not require Siegwiene to shoulder any additional punishment.
Wonder how she feels about all this.
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no? On behalf of the Maréchaussée Phantom, I would like to once again thank the Fortress of Meripede for your assistance in the response to yesterday's prison break.
Our head nurse and the Traveler in Paimon did most of the heavy lifting, I would say.
Siegwiene seems to be in good spirits. I trust work hasn't been too hard on her lately?
Well, she might be the only permanent medical staff in the fortress, but there's plenty of people with medical knowledge willing to help her out.
I am most relieved to hear it.
The way you're asking after her well-being makes you sound like a concerned parent.
Well, I won't lie. I've always seen myself that way.
Showing your age a bit there, don't you think?
Indeed. Actually, I often forget just how much older I am than you.
Well, while we're on the topic, what did you do before getting this job anyway? Spend all day swimming in the sea from east to west and then north to south?
Yes, and from the surface to the ocean floor on occasion.
Wow.
Apologies, that was merely an attempt at humor.
That's impossible, I'm afraid.
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is Siegwiene, the witch who gave you the magic potion. Sounds like me after learning the truth. Well, but she was planning to sacrifice herself. That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to Alright, but I broke the law. Simple as that. True. You don't like him, and yet... Unfair? What makes you say that? I knew you'd be curious.
The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. The Iudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the Fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melusine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Siegwiene, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melusine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melusine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Siegwiene. These days, everyone wants to make friends with Melusines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melusine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get. After hearing everything Potten said, I wanted to tell him that I tried to treat him. But the roots... I understand. Thanks, you two. I appreciate you being here for me while I talk this through.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, there's one more. In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the Marechaussee Phantom gave me special permission to make a few bottles of that
We don't need it, though.
Well, even if you chose to destroy it, I still thought I should give it to...
Well, fair enough, but anyway,
Still, if this is the very last bottle in all of Teyvat, Melusine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. In that case, what do you say, Siegwiene? Ever thought about transforming back to the way you used to look? After all, from a Melusine point of view, Paimon bets Melusines look the cutest of all. Paimon, after everything... What was Paimon thinking? You'd leave it to me. I'd like to stay here with my...